Welcome to the video podcast. My name is Florence Straka. This video podcast is all about my life experiences, blogging as a business, inspiration, and mindset. In today's episode, I'm going to continue from where we finally moved back to the village again after my mom's hospitalization. That was the biggest mistake we have made. But with all things, we have life there. We have our food product. We have our living there because we've been living there for a while now. We have accumulated so much in terms of farming, all our produce. That's where we make money. That's where we get our food from. We use that to get other sources. And so we have to go back. I wasn't happy, but we have to go back. And also, my final exam is also there. That's where the education is, closer to where we were in the town. So we went back after 6-7 months, and it has been like a little change. Like he has changed because he saw how my mom had suffered from being hospitalized from just the back pain. And finally, it seems he has changed a little, but that was just a short-lived. So the time has come for me to write my final. So I wrote final. You choose which college or which high school you want to go, and all that has been set. So now we are just waiting. I'm just waiting for my results to come back to see which school I'll be going. I chose school closer to me, which will be in a walking distance, or going to the town, the 2.5 miles to 3 miles to walk and back. So we're just hoping to see something close. So then life continues as normal. He reverts back to his normal behavior. The beatings is also going on as often. The insults, the leave my house, all sort of things still going on. Or it has gotten to a point where I just feel like running away, just leaving. Because there's no point. I don't want, as you grow, seeing things, it gets to a point, your mind, your body doesn't want to be there, doesn't want to be absorbing things like that. But I don't have anywhere to go. And this was in 91, almost getting close to 91. So we waiting not too long, I think 3 months probably, 2-3 months. My results were in for me. And I was chosen in a high school which is far from where we were living. And even before then, right after we finished our final exam, the village has gone out and says that all these young kids, all of us that has finished junior high, have written our exams. There's going to be a community labor because it's a village. Every Fridays, we do community labor. We clean the town, the villages, make sure every corner is clean. There's no bushes. There's nothing like that. So we do those things. And the hospital that my mom was hospitalized when she was sick was in the city. And they were building a building for the nurses. Like the new nurses, they don't have enough space for them. So they do have a parcel of plot close to the hospital. This place where the building is going to take place, or which has already started, was behind their mortuary. That's what it was. And so we have to walk through the hospital, pass through the mortuary, and then go to where the building is being built. The housing is being built for the nurses. And so in the village, our village, they beat a gong. It's like announcement. But there is something like a metal thing. They use a wood to hit it and make sound, like how you have a bell and ring it. So they call it gongo or gongon, so gongo beater. So they beat this gongon, and then that I let everybody hear that sound. So that sound is different, significant differently than any other sound you might hear. So once you hear it, you know there's going to be an announcement of what is going on. If there is anything going on in the village, they want everybody to be aware of. So they beat this gong one evening and says all these new final students who have written their exams are supposed to go with the villagers to help in that hospital, to help them. So what we are supposed to do is we go there, we go and they have cement blocks which have already been cut in shapes, and we go that Saturday morning to help them move the cement blocks from one place to where the building is being taken place. So that's what we did. And being young as me, I have no idea, so we went. And as we carried the cement block on our head, one at a time, so there is a lot of us, so we just line up, walk, and it's just a little walking path. So we walk from one place where the cement block is. We take one because they pile it. It's in a pile. So you carry one on your head, then you walk to where the building is taking place and take it. So we've been doing that all along. And for some reason, there was somebody behind me, her block cut in half. I don't know how it happened, but it does happen sometimes when the block is being put, is there for a long time, they break. So this particular one that this lady has put on her head did not break at that time, but then as we were going, I cannot explain, but her cement block broke into two places, and guess where the block landed? The half of the block landed on my feet, behind my feet, right behind my feet. And guess what? It cut my feet, almost the thread that is holding my heel together. It cut it, almost about to cut it in, totally cut it off. So then my feet will just be, dangling because there is nothing else holding it. The veins that hold the feet together, mine almost cut off. It was excruciating pain, and I couldn't walk because that's my feet. My left foot, that is what it is. I could not walk, so they have to carry me. One person has to carry me at their back right to the hospital. Right there, they have to carry me. I couldn't walk. The blood is everywhere, everywhere. My mom wasn't there. My mom didn't come with us because she had other things to do. And this was specific for us. We the ones who had just finished writing our exams. So we have few people with us, but my mom wasn't able to come. And so they have to send message home. Somebody have to go back home, like 3 miles back to the village, to let my mom know that this is what happens to me. And what I'm telling you, I was at that hospital for 3 months. 3 months. You cannot imagine. I could not walk. That day, the way it happens, they say they have to stitch. They have to take me to surgery. They have to stitch my legs together. They have to stitch the thread together. There is a name for it. I don't know how to call it, but it's just the vein that comes from your back all the way to your foot. Your foot that is on the floor, that you steps on, that you walk on. That the back of the feet, that back, it's just dangling because there's nothing holding it that much. It's only tiny thing left. The whole thing is cut. So they have to stitch. They took me to the surgery. They stitch it. I cannot breathe. I was in so much pain. I can feel the pain. By this time I'm growing, so things are staying vividly into my mind. I could not breathe. I was in so much pain. I'm crying so much. And so, they are taking my temperature to see why I'm in so much pain. And at last result, after the surgery, they took me to a ward, one of the rooms, and gave me a bed like a patient. I became a patient, and they gave me everything that I need because everything happens in the hospital. So this is not going to be a bill for us, but It's going to be a bill because my mom lives in the village. She has to come every day to take care of me. Who is going to stay with me throughout this process? We don't know. They said it's going to take only a month. But it was more than 3 months that I stayed in the hospital. More than 3 months. So I was there at the hospital. And my mom came. We don't have that much money. And it has been a hassle. So, as I was in that much pain, they have to actually remove the thread. They have to reopen the wound because it was just too much for me to carry. The pain was too much for me to endure. My body pressure, everything was going high. And there is no other way. They're giving me all these, injections to minimize the pain and all that. Nothing is helping. So they have to reopen the wound, and that was what helped me. From there, I was able to tolerate the pain a little bit, but it's much better than before. It was like I was on fire. Fire on my foot, fire, my whole body. So now this became a wound that need to be treated. It's not like how they sew you wait for 3 or a week or 2 weeks, you go back, they remove the thread, and then that close the wound up so you don't have much wound to deal with. For me, now I have a huge wound at the back of my foot that they need to treat. Oh my goodness. The pain. So after 3 days, I could not walk. I could not even get off bed. I cannot even put my foot down from the bed to put it down. I cannot. It cannot go down. It has to be raised up. My foot has to be raised up on the bed. So I could not go to the bathroom. I could not do anything. So they sent my grandmother, my angel, my Davy, the grandmother who took care of me, going through back and forth. My grandmother came. She was living in our village, but she came because somebody have to be with me all the time. So my grandmother decided she would come and stay with me. So she came and she was with me. And she knows the things she does because she's older. We do herbal medicine and things like that. But this, I have to stay in the hospital. And the way the wound and everything is, you don't even want to take me home because everybody is afraid that I'm going to lose my foot. My left foot, I'm going to lose it. So we were there now. I have wound, has to be treated. So they waited for 3 days before I went in for my first wound treatment. They have to carry me because my foot cannot go down. And when I went the first time, I have to lay on a bed front like that. So my foot, or both of my feet are, you can see the back because it's at one of the left foot. So they started, and now they have to suck. My foot has accumulated a lot of fluid in the wound, a lot. I have never seen anything like that before, but this everybody's body is different. Mine is just oh my goodness, a lot of fluid, and they have to squeeze all this fluid out so the wound can heal. They can't leave it in. And so it became like a new wound I just had. I was crying. They have to hold me down. So they held me down too strong. These nurses, they are strong. They held me down like 2-3 people. Because I couldn't take the pain. I was yelling, trying to free myself. They held me down, and then they held my legs down also to try to get as much fluid out of the wound. Oh, pain. And so this is what I'm going to leave this. And tomorrow I'm going to continue with how long I was at the hospital. Did I ever walk? Did I ever walk on my feet? And as I'm mentioning this, our results are almost in. So this is where I'll leave it. And I'll continue with how did I ever get out of that hospital to go to school? How did it all happen? So if you are listening to this, I'm saying these are my life experiences. And so if you are somewhere today, right now, and going through something, and you think it will never end, there is time for everything. There is season. We live in different seasons in our lives. And being a grown-up like me, at where I am now, with my life, with things that I have experienced, I think it's worth sharing with somebody. So if you hear my experiences compared to yours, maybe you are even better. Yours is better. But then how can you make yours even better, right? That is the idea. That's why I'm sharing this, to be an inspiration, to help you in some way, that every situation we live in has an end. And probably the life we are all living, we all have to go through the process, go through the reason why we are here. You cannot just get up from one place and jump to maybe 100 miles. It's a step. So we go through this step by step by step. And for all the things that I have experienced, so where I am now with my faith, I believe we are all on our path. Sometimes we make mistakes for certain things to come across our path, but mostly probably those mistakes are the learning process for you to move on from one stage to the next. Because if you have not gone through that and you have just jumped from one step to the next without learning the little things that you're supposed to learn to help you to overcome whatever it is that you are going to go through in that next stage, how do you survive it? So I believe everything that we go through, it's for a reason. It's building us up for the next thing to come. We don't know. My whole life, I don't know what is the next thing that is going to happen tomorrow for me. Or today, that as I'm talking to you today, I don't know what is the next thing that is going to happen. But maybe what I'm experiencing now, or what I have experienced that I'm sharing with you, has helped me to be able to overcome certain things in life. So I say everything in life is for a reason. It's not for a chance. You don't meet people just for a chance. You don't meet somebody today in your life just for a chance. You don't even say hello to somebody today just for a chance. There is a reason. Even if you do not have any communication with that person, just passing the person by on the roadside, at the supermarket, at the parking lot, there is a reason for it. If not, just imagine these billions of people in the world. Why do you have, at that particular moment, have to meet that particular individual and say hello? Why? So, this is where I will leave you, and tomorrow I will continue my experience at the hospital. Still living with my stepfather. Wherever you do today, I hope it goes well. And also, everything happens for a reason. Don't take it as a chance. There is a reason. And be mindful of everything we do in life, because sometimes they come back to us. Be generous to others. Be patient with others. And enjoy the moment. And I will see you. Take care.